So in part A of problem 12, we're given 4 players. We have player A, B, C, D, and we have a standard deck of 52 cards. And we're asked how many ways are there to give 13 cards to player A. So notice that the order of cards in a player's hand does not matter. In a player's hand doesn't matter. So we only care about which cards we have, not what order they're in. So since we need to give player A 13 cards, there are 52. Choose 13 ways to do so. Now moving on to part B, we're asked how many ways are there to assign these 52 cards to these 4 players, 13 cards each. Well, as we said, player A will get 52, choose 13 choices. 52 choose 13 ways to get 13 cards. Now once the 13 have been dealt, for player B, there are now 39 choose 13 ways to give player B 13 cards. Once those 13 have been given to player B, in our deck we now have only 26 cards left, so there are 26 choose 13 ways to assign 13 cards to player C, and once those 13 have been handed, there are now only 13 cards left in our deck, and those go to player D. And now part C asks us, why isn't the answer to part B just 52 choose 13 raised to the 4th power? Well, the reason, to understand the reason, let's understand what this term here means. So what this term means is that each player A, B, C, and D, have 52 choose 13 possible ways to get 13 cards out of the deck. That means when we're considering the cards for player B, there are 52 cards in our deck. And then when we consider the cards for player C, again there are 52 cards in our deck. And then when we consider the cards for player D, again there are 52 cards in our deck. How could this happen? Well, if we give 13 cards to player A, and then right away take them back and put them back in our deck, we now have 52 cards in the deck again. And so player B has 52 choose 13 choices. Now, we give 13 cards to player B, take them back right away and put them back in the deck. Now again, there are 52 cards in the deck, so player C now has 52 choose 13 choices. Now once we give the 13 cards to player C, again, we take them back right away, put them in the deck, and now for player D, there are again 52 cards in the deck. So the way this would happen, the way this would work, is if we were sampling our 13 cards with replacement. Meaning when considering 13 cards for each player, there are 52 cards in the deck. This is not actually true, because when we give 13 cards to player A, we now have 39 cards in the deck. Oops. We now have 39 cards in the deck. And when we give 13 cards to player B, we now have 26 cards in the deck. So we're sampling without replacement, which is why part C here, the number in part C here, is incorrect.